Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Meigs County residents could be paying higher taxes to upgrade the local jail. Good evening, I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Thanks for joining us. Meigs County Sheriff's Office and commissioners are working to get a nearly $3 million levy on the special elections ballot in August. This would help bring in $9 million needed to upgrade to Meigs County Jail. The jail currently has room for only 5 people. Currently, Meigs County deputies have to transport other inmates to nearby facilities to accommodate.
Everything that we've looked at in the last couple years over this and trying to decide how to do it and how to move forward with the project has been this definitively is the fix.
The upgraded jail would hold 60 to 70 beds, which have the potential to be rented to other counties. You can find the full story on WOUB.org. Athens County Emergency Medical Services is seeking to form a union. The Ohio Association of Professional Firefighters want to be recognized as the bargaining agent for full-time EMS workers. EMS Chief Rick Calebs is recommending not including captains or lieutenants because they handle responsibilities that conflict with being in the unit. Athens County EMS has 2 captains and 5 lieutenants and 31 full-time employees.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies. The past few days in Athens, we did see some beautiful skies around the area. The sun is back, which I'm excited about. But as for right now in Athens, we are looking at 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies with winds from the south-southwest at 5 miles an hour. So our humidity is at 64%, which will be increasing when we see the chance for rain increase into tonight. Right now around the region, we're looking at the mid to upper 70s, a little bit in the 80s, 80 in Jackson, 79 up in Newark, and 71 over in New Martinsville. As for our overnight lows for the area, we are looking at a chance for thunderstorms. Those will begin to set in later in the evening, later in the night into tomorrow morning. 61 in Athens for tonight, 61 in Cambridge, 61 for a majority of the area as well, 62 up in Columbus. As for our overnight hour by 8 p.m., 73 by midnight, 64, and by 4 a.m., chance for thunderstorms and 62 degrees. Now over to you, Mackenzie.
An update in the Cleveland killer case. The victim's family will hold Robert Goodwin Sr.'s funeral on Saturday. The 74-year-old was gunned down last Sunday while collecting aluminum cans shortly after he had been with some of his children for Easter. Goodwin was a retired foundry worker and a father of 10. Former neighbors, friends, and relatives describe him as a good man. The funeral will be open to the public, and stay with us later in the show. We'll explore the effects of social media and crime. A Tuscarawas County police officer who said he was shot on duty last week has admitted to making the whole thing up. CNN reports that Newcomerstown officer Brian Eubanks made the story up and shot himself in an attempt to commit suicide. The 37-year-old who survived a gunshot wound to his arm was terminated from his position yesterday.
What we know is that the officer confessed today that he has been struggling emotionally with some things since he recently worked on a very serious felony case, happened to be a murder he was involved in, and he states that he has been having some health issues since then.
Now, Eubanks has not been put in jail, but it is expected that he will be charged with a crime. The battle over Ohio's lethal injection process continues in the courts. The state asked the full appeals court to review the rejection of Ohio's 3-drug protocol. Now, attorneys for the death row inmates want the appeals court not to review that decision. The lawyers say there's no need for the full appeals court to review the 3-judge panel's decision that the process is unconstitutional. A pilot program that helps children hurt by their parents' addiction is already expanding in Ohio. State Attorney General Mike DeWine announced yesterday that 4 hard-hit counties in southern Ohio have been added to the Ohio Start program. There are 14 counties participating in the original program. The nearly $5 million effort provides intensive trauma counseling and other services to children abused or neglected because of parental drug abuse. Be sure to tune in to Newswatch at noon in depth Friday at 12 p.m. as we take a look at the opioid effect on children in the area. In addition to the START program, Attorney General Mike DeWine wants to push for mandatory K-12 anti-addiction education. He says that this is a program he would push if elected governor. DeWine, a Republican, says the education would have to be age appropriate and based on programs proven to work. He says more efforts to fight the ongoing opiate epidemic are urgent. West Virginia is also working to combat the issues facing kids in the crossfire of the opioid epidemic. Marshall University wants to expand Huntington services for babies born addicted to drugs. They hope to add a comprehensive center that would follow babies to kindergarten. The program would provide child care and services to mothers and families with babies that have neonatal abstinence syndrome. Portions of the center would be used for child care, therapy, and community support groups. And more good news out of West Virginia. The state's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate has fallen to its lowest level since November 2008. The number of unemployed residents fell by 2,300 to about 38,000. Employment gains include 300 in construction and 100 in mining and logging. There were over 1,000 job losses in government sector. The national unemployment rate dipped to 4.5% in March. Ohio's rules for medical marijuana growers have cleared their final legislative hurdle. The Joint Committee on Agency Rule Review cleared the rules for growers, including application and licensing fees, on Monday. The rules will be filed in time to officially take effect before the May 6th deadline. Rules and regulations for dispensaries, processors, and testing labs are still in the planning stage. They have to be in place by September 8th. While the marijuana industry fights to jump hurdles here at home, another business is making strides in China. How Ivanka Trump's brand is growing abroad. Despite Ivanka's successes, Republicans were served another reminder of President Donald Trump's unpopularity. A breakdown of the high stakes for a House seat when Newswatch returns.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Barbara.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Republicans got a big wake-up call last night when a 30-year-old Democratic political newcomer nearly pulled off an upset in a suburban Atlanta district that's been solidly red for decades. But today, both sides are claiming victory in the special election that was widely viewed as a referendum on President Trump's performance thus far. Kristen Holmes looks at where things go from here.
It's a red flag for Republicans in ruby red Georgia.
Y'all ready to flip the 6th?
On Tuesday, John Ossoff, a young and very green Democrat, came just short of the 50% threshold to turn Georgia's 6th district blue. The battle for the seat left vacant by Health Secretary Tom Price will now come down to a runoff election in June between Ossoff and establishment Republican favorite Karen Handel.
Republicans are united. We know that this is an important race.
While neither party won this high-profile race, both are claiming victory. President Trump called it a big Republican win and said he was glad to be of help. Meanwhile, Democrats are encouraged by Ossoff's surprisingly strong showing.
There is no doubt that this is already a victory for the ages.
Democrats are hoping the near upset is proof of the president's sagging popularity and a sign of early momentum ahead of the 2018 midterms. Some Republicans are already distancing themselves from Trump. Senator Joni Ernst took a critical jab at his frequent trips to Mar-a-Lago.
I think that we have a president that has a number of flaws. I do wish that he would spend more time in Washington, D.C.
During another town hall, Republican Senator James Lankford calling on the president to release his tax returns. And separately, Utah Republican and House Oversight Committee Chair Jason Chaffetz won't be running for re-election, saying he wants to go back to the private sector. In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
Handel said that despite preventing Ossoff from an outright win, the situation in the district is all hands on deck for Republicans. Business is booming for daughter Ivanka Trump, in China at least. Beijing approved at least 2 new trademarks for her company on the same day she met with the country's president at her father's Florida resort. This is raising new questions about the Trump family and growing conflicts of interest. CNN's Tom Foreman reports.
When President Trump's granddaughter sang in Mandarin during the China-U.S. summit meeting, the video was a hit back in the People's Republic. But the real story is how her mother's business is booming there, too.
White diamonds flanking the stone on either side, and it's set in 18-karat yellow gold.
This year alone, first daughter Ivanka's business in China is growing fast. She's seen at least 2 new trademarks approved by the Chinese, another one provisionally, adding to 16 she already holds. According to the AP, which first reported the story, some came the very day she shared dinner with the Chinese president. True, she was hiring Chinese labor before the election.
Ivanka is a very good client, but of course, I never imagined her father would become president.
Still, since the start of the year, her father's companies have seen 35 other trademarks preliminarily approved by China, too. Ivanka says
any growth is done with extreme caution.
Her company will neither confirm nor deny those numbers to CNN, instead issuing a statement saying, "We have recently seen a surge in trademark filings by unrelated third parties trying to capitalize on the Trump name, and it is our responsibility to diligently protect our trademark."
Happy shopping.
Nonetheless, that's big business, especially considering how much the Trump family has repeatedly brushed away concerns about politics affecting their financial interest.
I don't think it matters. This is so much more important and more serious, and so that that's the focus.
I think what Ivanka is trying to say: who cares? Who cares? This is big league stuff. This is our country.
Business matters are a little more complicated now for Ivanka now that she is officially on the White House staff. Even though she is unpaid, she'll have to tread carefully not to break any laws. On Wall Street today, Dow Jones decreased over 100 points. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. When tragedy strikes on social media, are the individuals involved to blame or the social media company? After the break, how social media mixes with crime. That story's still ahead.
And on Newswatch, in the weather portion of it, we will be talking about rain that is on the way. Cooler temperatures are coming with that. We'll talk about that and more up next in my extended forecast.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Barbara.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
From the Newswatch Weather Center on the campus of Ohio University, I'm Adriana Davies. Right now in Athens, 75 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, winds coming out from the south-southwest at 5 miles an hour. Our humidity is slowly increasing. We're looking at 64 right now, but that will begin to increase as we see the chance for rain increase as well. As for our almanac for today, we were at 76 for our high, whereas 65 is the normal and 88 is the record. So we're right around in between those two temperatures. So we're still above average, as well as for our low. 61 was our low for today so far. As for our right now temperatures around the region, 77 down in Ironton, 79 up in Newark, and 80 over in Chillicothe and in Jackson. As for our overnight lows for the area, 59 down in Ironton, 61 for a majority of our viewing area, 62 up in Columbus. And we will see a slight chance for thunderstorms into the evening as well. As for tonight in Athens, 61, the thunderstorms will be coming to set in late. There is a 50% chance of those thunderstorms tonight with winds from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And when I say late, I would define late as into after midnight, 4 a.m. into the morning hours. Tonight, our precipcast is looking relatively dry for the next few hours, but we will see that rain start to set in into tomorrow and into tomorrow night. As for the bus stop forecast, 63, relatively mild start to the day. We will see those dry conditions, mostly cloudy morning. As for our tomorrow highs, it's going to be a warm one. 83 in Athens and in Marietta, 82 over in Ironton. As for tomorrow in Athens, like I said, 83. There is a stray shower possible, but we will see mostly cloudy skies. 63 by 8 a.m. By noon, we're looking at 76, and by 4 p.m. we see 82. As for our extended forecast, we will see some rain on Saturday. I know that might ruin some Numbers Fest plans, but definitely grab that poncho and wear some clothes that you're not going to care if they get muddy. But it will start to warm up into next week, which will be really nice. Now over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Adriana. Facebook is disputing reports that it took 3 hours to take down the gruesome murder video posted by Cleveland killer Steve Stevens. But by the time Facebook did, people worldwide had already watched it. While some say Facebook Live needs to be cut, others say it's a tool to help catch criminals. WOUB's Rachel Cherry took a look at the issue.
Everybody started calling me and texting me, did you see that video? Did you see that video? And I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
It didn't take long for the Cleveland shooting posted on Facebook to spread. The victim's daughter first found out about her father's death through the viral video.
At first I was angry. I'm like, why would they do that to my dad? Why would you put it online? Like, I couldn't believe it was my dad.
Robert Goodwin's son says the video stripped his dad of his dignity.
And to post it online for the whole world to see, I'm just angry.
Social media expert Karen Riggs says the dynamic field of social media makes it impossible to prevent events like this from happening.
We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know how people are going to use the next tool. Facebook Live is an example of that.
Once people see social media being used this way, they might do the same.
People are going to be more inclined to commit suicide and commit crimes live and all those kinds of things because the tool is available there and other people do it and they see it and they know it.
But Rick says social networks always respond to public pressure. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook is already trying to fix the problem.
And we have a lot more to do here. And we're reminded of this this week by the tragedy in Cleveland. And our hearts go out to the family and friends of Robert Godwin Sr. And we have a lot of work, and we will keep doing all we can to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
However, social network tools can't solve cultural issues. Rick says those problems rest with the users.
You know what the resolution is for the monitor?
Because of social media, a McDonald's worker in Erie, Pennsylvania recognized Stevens and called police. The call led to a police chase, ending with the Stevens killing himself. In the case, the power of social media helped, stopping him from harming anyone else. To find out more on the negative side of crime on social media, visit WOUB online.
Good evening, I'm Joseph Payton. In sports, the Ohio softball team, they were in Huntington last night against the Marshall Thundering Herd. I'll let you know how that game went. And the Eastern Lady Eagles notched a huge win over the Federal Hawking Lady Lancers last night. We'll see how they were able to get it done on the road when Newswatch returns after the break. But stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Barbara.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
Welcome back, I'm Joseph Payton. Last night, the Ohio softball team suffered a tough 3-2 loss against rival Marshall. Ohio struggled to put runners in scoring position, and Morgan Gino's 2-run home run late in the game, well, it was just that, too late. The win is Marshall's 34th on the year, and the Bobcats, they now return home for 6 straight games in the MAC. Now moving over to high school softball, reporter Alex Moore was at the Federal Hawking Eastern softball game last night, and he has the details.
Eastern High softball has started off their season by absolutely dominating the TVC Hawking. So far, not one team in their conference has been able to stop them. Last night, the Lady Eagles beat Federal Hawking High 27-6. You heard that right, 27-6. Even though his team won by 21 runs, Eastern coach Brian Durst says they can still improve.
Tonight our base running was a little bit unimpressive. Like I say, we talked a little bit about our defense and just staying sharp for if it's a 5-inning game, if it's a 7-inning game, and not letting down.
The Lady Eagles were all over Federal Hawking's pitching staff. The team had a total of 16 hits and 12 walks. Durst says it's nice to score lots of runs, but says that they can't sacrifice other aspects of their game in the process.
You know, I thought it was very nice that we came out and scored 9 runs in the first inning. But, our defense wasn't what it had been. And, talked to the girls about that, just staying focused and playing our game. I think sometimes, you have certain games that maybe where you play to other teams' level, and that wasn't quite up to our standard. We pride ourselves in our defense. Pitchers walked a few too many tonight, and we've got to do better at that if we're going to stay competitive in the league.
Eastern now sits comfortably on top of the TVC Hawking with a record of 10-1 after the gargantuan win over the Lady Lancers. They are undefeated in conference play with 9 wins and don't seem to be slowing down.
Now Eastern, they were playing Wahama tonight at 5 o'clock, so they should be finishing up. Sounds like they've got a good hold of that top spot in the conference. Now let's jump into the MLB now. The reigning AL champion Cleveland Indians, they picked up a big win last night over the Twins. 3 Cleveland batters had multiple RBIs at the plate, and it helped the Tribe beat the Twins 11-4. If the Indians win tonight, they'll have their second road sweep of the year. First pitch will be at 8 p.m. in Minneapolis at Target Field. And the Cincinnati Reds, they kept their winning ways rolling last night with a 9-3 win over the Orioles. Adam Duvall led the Reds with 5 RBIs, including a grand slam early in the game. And Bronson Arroyo, he grabbed his first win of the year on the mound. The Reds and Orioles, they'll be back at it again tonight at 7 o'clock. And, of course, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they avoided elimination last night at Nationwide Arena. The Jackets finally notched a 5-4 victory over the Penguins to push the series to a 5th game. Pittsburgh, they now lead the series 3-1, and Game 5 will be on Saturday in Pittsburgh with the puck set to drop at 7 p.m. All right, I'm Joseph Payton. That's it for sports. Back over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Joseph. New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski interrupted a media briefing by Press Secretary Sean Spicer today during the team's visit to the White House.
There's an opportunity. Can I just...
Need some help?
I think I got this, but thank you. Maybe. All right, thanks, man. I'll see you in a minute. Hold on.
The New England Patriots were at the White House to accept congratulations from President Donald Trump for their Super Bowl victory. Now let's send it back over to Adriana for a final look at weather.
Tonight in Athens, we are looking at 61 as our low, but we will see some thunderstorms later into the evening. There is 50% chance for that with winds from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As for tomorrow in Athens, it's going to be a hot one. 83 degrees as our high, and there is a stray shower or thunderstorm possible for tomorrow as well. Into the weekend, we will see a cool down as a cold front rolls through. Saturday is not looking great for Numbers Fest. 100% chance for rain and 53 as our high, but the week will begin to warm up into next week with some clear skies. Now over to Mackenzie for our goodbyes.
Thanks, Adriana. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.